And on the 365th day, using nothing but spare parts, God decided to put together a creature whose voice and face did not match. He wanted something that had a thunderous roar like a lion, with the ugly appearance of the ass end of a chihuahua. And thus, the StarCraft II caster was born. Hello everyone, and welcome to another cast by yours truly, DOxCoolbreeze. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into the game here. This is going to be a match taken from our weekly Koth, which is part of our Friday night practice routine with Clan DOx. If you are interested in any more information on them, you can check us out at www.darkonyx for the win. Or you can message myself in-game. I am DOxCoolbreeze, and unfortunately I'll have to look up my character code and throw it into the description in the video here a little later. Every DOx practices Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays and Wednesday nights we practice 9 p.m. Central Time, which unfortunately, because our clan leader and several of our members are from the state of Texas, Central Time is our mode of preference. The map today will be Metalopolis. I'm sorry. Oh hell, I forgot the name of this. It's not Metalopolis. I think it's Metropolis LE. And the reason we're playing on this map is because one of our administrators, not going to mention names, guest fenced, got a little lazy and accidentally clicked the wrong map, so this is what we find ourselves on. Looks like the scouts are going to pass just in the middle of the map here. Without further ado, let me introduce the players real quick. Spawning on the top right, we're going to have DOxCoolbreeze, spawning as the Green Terran. This will be a PvT. And he looks like he's doing some unorthodox Heart of the Swarm stuff. We got an early gas, we got an early Rax, and we'll see what happens out of there. Could be Reapers, could be maybe going a fast factory. Get some Hellions, Hellbats, maybe some Mecha. Our other player is going to be our gold Protoss player, Captain Cool, who also is going for a semi-early gas, and he's going for the super standard one pylon into gateway build that Protoss players love to do early game. Not much deviance I see on there. I'll tell you guys if I see anything else happening besides the Forge Fast expand. Other than that, not a whole lot going in this game. Nice, we do have the Reaper coming out. This game was taken out of a series, like I was saying earlier, which is part of our Friday night practice. We always do what's called a King of the Hill, or as the guys on the team call it, and pretty much anyone else in the world, a Koth. What we like to do is we like to go ahead and start off with our lower ranked players to give everyone an opportunity to play. And basically we play winner stays until we run out of players. This, I believe, was the fourth game in the series, which was preceded by, I want to say, 4 games that were played by Apex Pred versus different members in our team. And he swept them all with some very unorthodox Sky Toss play. Some stuff that we just really didn't expect to see. He's a platinum level player, but he's relatively new to the game, and he seems to be picking it up very quickly. So, props to you. In this particular game, we're going to hopefully see some action here real soon, as Coolbreeze likes to do the Reaper Open. The Reaper Open is something that, and me being DOxCoolbreeze, I'll tell you that I did strictly because it's a TVT build that I've been trying out, and in this particular instance, even though it's against Protoss, I wanted to see how viable it would be, and that's the beauty of practice, is that it's something you do just to give it a try. The fundamental downside to this is, though, because it does take a lot of micro with the Reaper, that it's very easy for your macro to slip on the back end of it. The other thing is that once you get that Stalker out, it can really shut down this build. If you have some decent micro, though, with a pair of Reapers, you can put some hurt on that Stalker. And Breeze fails. Good job, Past Breeze. In either case, that Reaper's going to go ahead and get out on a good note, pulling the Reaper out and saving it, trying to give myself some map vision. Hopefully I'll put it by this tower. And I do believe during this game I did have some hardware issues. I don't know if anyone is a doctor in the house, but my mouse does like to disconnect at random times during the night. In fact, I believe it just did it during the cast here as well. So Breeze, trying to recover all these minerals floating around, is going to go ahead and throw down 4 Rex to follow us up, as well as an expansion. And we also have an expansion on the way for Captain Cool. Captain, what tech do you have coming out now? Doing some pretty standard stuff. We got a couple gateways, and of course, gotta love those pesky ass Reapers. Let's see if that micro's a little better this time. There we go. That mothership core should zone control out those Reapers, and you're gonna have to pull those suckers back now. Hopefully Breeze this time follows my instructions and puts those suckers back on the watchtowers like I think he should do. Fairly standard stuff coming out of Captain. With all this extra gas, we can only assume he's either going to be Scooting towards some higher tech units since he's only got 3 gateways out at this point in time. Maybe a Robo, could be Twilight Council going for maybe Blink Stalkers, Charge Lots, or Charge Lots and Archons are a wonderful combination, especially because everybody pretty much knows Breeze loves to play Bio. Let's see what we got going here. Opening up that warp gate, kicking back over to Breeze. Nice! Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Get some of this action back in here. You get your pylon down. Get right in behind those defenses. Man, I hope I have some units coming out. Well, Breeze likes to do the AFK SCV thing. I'm going to have a talk with myself about that, see what I can do. I like what Captain's doing here. It looks like he's going to wait for the second rotation of warp ins, or possibly hit from the front with his mothership core, but we'll see what happens here in a second. Ooh, 1 unit. Let's see what his warp gate cooldown's like. Oh, that would probably be why he's getting slowed down. Those freaking Reapers just won't go away. What we got here? So Breeze is staying on the offensive with those Reapers, and Captain is going to go ahead and do a counterattack with some Stalkers on the backside. Thankfully the bunker's in place, even though I've got a Ray bunker with no units in it. Reaction time could be a little better, but you've also got some micro going on down here as well. Both players staying pretty much on top of SCV and Pro production respectively, so we should see a heavy macro game coming out here real soon. But this is a problem here for Breeze because it looks like I only have Marines in these bunkers, which aren't going to necessarily be the best choice against the Stalkers. Doing what I have to, pulling these SCVs out to do a little meaty tank and spank here, get some Marauders out, and try and clean this stuff up. And I definitely, because of the damage that this has done economically, need to get that expansion landed again and just really get some production out of it. Get those SCVs and mules rolling. Beautiful. Upgrade timing is looking pretty decent for Breeze. I've got both the 1-1 weapons and armor started. I have my stim started. Definitely need combat shields. And the non-stop counterattacks. This game proves to be truly entertaining. Now, on the same token, Captain Cool does have an observer out on the field, which is going to give him some wonderful map hacks, almost. It also looks like he's doing a little poking with this this probably misrallied Stalker. God, this has got to be annoying to play against. Thankfully, Breeze has pretty semi-decent control. Hopefully he'll be able to clean that out. And then clean up that pylon to get all that proxy crap out of his base. On the reciprocal, we have another counterattack with these pesky-ass Reapers. This has got to really suck to play against. Get away from that little Stalker there. Oh god, another mothership core, and that sucker is floating some juice. Nice. Killing off this pylon over here. Definitely supply blocked our good friend Captain Cool, so that's going to force him to build another couple of pylons and give Breeze a little reprieve from his constant harassment. As I was saying earlier, Captain Cool, it looks like he threw down the Robo, even though he's not really pumping out any Robo-specific units like your Immortals or your, when I say robotic-specific, I mean attacking units. But he does like to get that out because, as he said before, he loves having that map vision of getting a couple observers out, and it definitely gives you an advantage on your opponent because as a Protoss player, it becomes semi-difficult to get a good read, get units in the base, and see what the Terran player has for production. Looks like both players are doing fairly well, apart from the standard 70 supply block. You know, Breeze likes to do that just like Stefano does to make sure that you know when to do, whenever you hit that supply block, you know when to start changing over into producing roaches and get your upgrades. Unfortunately, I don't build roaches. Unit composition for both players is a little interesting right now because Captain Cool is sticking to pretty much gateway units, which does not do very well against Bio. And for reasons beyond my comprehension, even though Breeze has some good tech and some good upgrades going, he does not have any medevacs out on the field yet. So, past Breeze, you should probably get on top of that. Also, the window for getting your 2-2 started is rapidly passing, although Breeze was smart enough to get an armory down before that stuff finished. And then another thing that Breeze has done is he went ahead and threw down the Ghost Lab to make sure that he can go ahead and get some Mobus Reactor energy, get some EMPs off on that army. Ah, it's so beautiful. Look at all those gateways. Let's see what the Breeze vision looks like so far. He's seen the Robo... Oh god, the mouse is freaking out again. Look at that. He's seen the robotics bay. He sees all the, not the other stuff, but you know, he's looking pretty good so far. I believe at this point in time that Breeze has a pretty good read and has a feeling that since Captain Cool has gone gateway units, would just make sure it makes sense to have a Templar archive. So I believe that he's using his Gosu gamer sense to kind of guess where that tech is going to be. I love what Captain did putting this Templar archives down behind his Nexus out of sight, because that's not a place that you generally scan looking for tech structures. And the other thing that that gives you is it's very defended, because if I go to drop on this third base, I'm going to be going for probes, I'm going to be going for pylons, possibly the Nexus. If I come in here, this is going to be the high value targets going after these probes. This Templar archives is in a perfect spot where it's not necessarily a high value target right there. Looks like Breeze is gearing up for some multi-prong drops. We got some medevacs loaded up. Nothing really exciting going on back at the base except for some good old-fashioned macro. And here we go. The attack is underway. We got a drop on the main base, which is beautiful, going after that that damage. Blink Stalker's bleaking and try and shut that down. Drop on the natural, stemming in, going to get that massive damage in, try and take out as many probes as we can, and just really shut down that gas production. It looks like Captain Cool took out the medevac on the main drop. Breeze actually taking a geyser and just really getting some of that damage in. But there are enough Blink Stalkers here that should get cleaned up relatively shortly. And it looks like the drop on the third is going to go ahead and get out of there as well, for a net gain of 36 workers killed. Good job, Breeze. Good job past me. That's some ugly stuff. Man, that can't be fun to play with. But Captain Cool has an ace up his sleeve as well, which looks like he has a counter warp into some zealots. Thankfully, Past Breeze had a some vision on this and was able to go ahead and get a lot of the SCVs out and get a reaction force QRF back in there to go ahead and take out some of these zealots. Although not the best control in the world, because this zealot said, "I hate that supply depot more than I hate myself." Let's see, Captain Cool goes ahead and loads out the warp prism. Go ahead and save that for a little later. Get some more fun with that. Let's see what we got going on back here. Unit composition again. Ooh, that's a money scan. Breeze gets to see that there are some HTs mixed in there, but there are no Archons, which means that he's probably going to be banking on some Storm. So hopefully Breeze takes the message there and goes ahead and makes a transition into some Ghosts, which would be wonderful there. It looks like Breeze is also producing Vikings, which is a weird call because we know that there aren't any Colossus out on the field. So the only thing I can imagine is that maybe it's something to try and shut down this warp prism, because it likes to get in these pesky dead zones and do some crazy stuff. But we'll see what happens. Looks like both players have a third up and running. Breeze has a little better saturation. However, after that attack, he just didn't saturate his main base, so those SCVs will be working diligently for a little while. Hopefully he'll get this gas working out too. And as far as the income goes, both players are looking about even at 53 to 60 workers. Thankfully, Terran do have those OP mules. Looking at the army supply, the Protoss player, Captain Cool, is a little behind on the mineral count, but he makes that up because his army is extremely gas heavy, and with those Templar going up against an MM combination, that's going to be a very ugly thing to deal with indeed. Something to note at this point in time is that Captain Cool is a hair behind on his upgrades because he has his 2-2 completed. There is no 3-3 in the works, and that could be a serious problem. That stem was a little ugly. Oh god, just sit there and bathe in that storm. This is going to be an extremely ugly choke to attack into, and if Breeze keeps this up, he can really eat some damaging storms there. So hopefully our Terran player will get the hell out of there and just call that one a day, which thankfully he does. This is also going to be an ugly spot to fight into because even though there is an open avenue of attack here, going for the Nexus, but there are no open avenues for retreat. Gets to pick off the Nexus, not a bad pickup, probably overstemming here. Eating storms, oh god, it's ugly. This is definitely a losing fight, downhill battle. Nice. And Breeze picks up and gets out of there. Not a bad trade-off because now Captain Cool's got all these long-distance mining probes and nowhere to go. And look at that, even an overreaction from Captain. I didn't see this earlier. He used a photon overcharge on his natural. Breeze wisely taking advantage of his. Oh God, even more action. Captain, you sneaky bastard. He dropped in a sentry in this mineral line, and the whole time that this attack's been going on, the Tickle Cannon was able to pick up 6 kills. That's freaking terrible. Oh my god. As White Row used to say, went ahead, get further ahead. Looks like Breeze took advantage of this opportunity and went ahead and picked up a 4th base. SCV production is still not too good, not too bad. It looks like he's got 63 workers spread out over those 3 bases. Could use some more saturation on the gas in his main, so I guess those 63 workers are specifically between his 2nd and 3rd base. Hopefully he'll get those worked out for a little better saturation. This is where it's going to start getting really ugly. Mouse just died again. Sorry guys, don't mean to be scrolling across the map. It's going to start getting really ugly because what we're looking at right now is Captain Cool in the middle of the map. Oh god. Captain Cool in the middle of the map, he's got excellent positioning and good storms, and his unit composition is just ugly right now to deal with without those ghosts out on the field. Thankfully, I believe at this point in time that Breeze does have those ghosts coming out, so we might be able to equalize this a little bit. Storm dodging is not looking too good. These medevacs are healing their butts off, man. They've got to be getting some extra overtime for this stuff. And Breeze's army is looking a lot like a stoplight right now. There's a lot of yellow and a lot of red, not so much green. So he's got to give those medevacs a minute to heal up, and hopefully he can get his army in there and tank some more of those, eat some more storms to the face. Another money scan, get you some vision on that army, so hopefully we can get those ghosts in and get those EMPs. Nice. Money EMPs, of all those Templar, you're only looking at 1 that has any kind of energy left on him. And still a decent scan. The problem there is that, again, with that gas-heavy army, unfortunately, Captain just lost a lot of it, and that's going to be hard to replace, especially since his Nexuses keep getting sniped and it keeps putting him down. But he is doing really well in his macro, picking up a 4th base on the back end of all this. Looks like it's just another basic tank and spank at this point in time, where both players are macroing up effectively, trying to build up that supply count. Unfortunately, because of the damage economically that Breeze did earlier with sniping that Nexus, it looks like Captain is finding himself a little low on the supply count because his income was also hurting too. Both players are, however, hovering some serious minerals at this point in time. Production facilities would definitely be an upgrade. This could be a really potentially bad engagement angle for Captain, because as it looks right now, he's got his Templar in a vulnerable spot, and he's got a terrible choke coming up. So he's got to be extremely careful how he engages this right now, because right now, oh my god, the Terran player has a phenomenal concave, which just fell completely apart. Good job, past me. Ooh, some money storms. Breeze is out. Got a couple medevacs for it, and all these medevacs are not only almost completely out of energy, but a lot of them are almost out of HP as well, which, as we all know in the StarCraft universe, means that you're heading for the deletion bin. Captain wisely backing out with the units he has left, trying to hit another warp-in cycle, maybe pull out a couple more Templar, some Zealots, something to give him some meat to tank against these units. And unfortunately, it might be too little too late, because right now it's not looking very good for him. Templar Archive's about to go down as well. Probably should start moving in there. He's got enough juice for maybe a storm or 2. Nice positioning. Picked out 3 medevacs in that, I believe. And as it stands right now, the medevacs that he has left just have no energy whatsoever. They're running on fumes. Unfortunately, right now, Breeze does have phenomenal saturation on his 4th base, and he has a 5th base going up right now with some idle SCVs hanging out there. But as it looks right now, I just don't see any way Captain can get back in this game. He doesn't have the infrastructure. He has the infrastructure. He doesn't have the income to support that anymore, and as you can tell by the resources, he has completely spent himself out. A little bit of a blink micro there, just to kind of be defiant till the very end, and Captain finally gives us the GG, and that'll be the end of the game. What a wonderful game from the Koth. Thank you for both players for playing, and we'll get some in-depth analysis on this in the morning. This is a drunk cast, of course. Breeze might have come home from the bar and been at work all day thinking about nothing other than StarCraft, so we wanted to get a little action in and put something up on the stream, something for people to chew on. Most players probably already saw this, so I'll like I said, get some analysis on it and talk about some of the critical points about what made the game, what broke the game. Upgrades were a definite thing. I still don't believe... Oh, nope. Captain ended up getting 3-3 by the end. In either case, like I said, good game. You can check us out again on www.darkonyx for the win, practicing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we'd love to have you guys if anyone was interested in playing.